And right now, it's a new feature on the new happy hour. My girlfriend just gave me such a wonderful idea. She ran into fmylife.com. So right now, I'm going to give you a small, minute-long weekly dose of F My Life. Just read a couple off the bat. Here's one. Today, while making some toast, I noticed a strange smell coming from the toaster. I leaned over the toaster, trying to see if anything was in there. At the same moment as the toast was finished and popped up, a burnt cockroach came with it and hit me in the face. F my life. Today, my 72-year-old grandmother informed me she's running for mayor. She's been going around town with homemade signs all day, campaigning to win mayor. She lives in my town. My friend called me asking me if she was high. Today I found out that there is literally a giant hole in my son's bedroom because my son wanted to build a secret entrance. Today I decided to drive my mother's Bentley. She is out of town and told me not to go near the car. Being 17, I didn't listen. As I was backing out the driveway, I was hit by an SUV, seriously damaging my mom's car. Who was driving the SUV? My mom, coming home early. Today I found out that my best mates had his backpack, clothes, and everything else in it stolen at an airport overseas. I was feeling sorry for him all day. It took me 9 hours to remember that I actually loaned him my backpack for his trip. Today, I received my first compliment in a really long time. It went, "Hey, you don't look like crap today." Today, my 13-year-old stepson called child services on me because I wouldn't buy him an iPhone. He even bruised himself. Today at school, everybody wanted to be my partner for a project. This surprised me because nobody ever wants to be with me. Turns out when I was absent, my teacher promised that whoever was my partner would get extra points on the project. Today, my 8-year-old adopted daughter told me she wants me to take her back so another family can adopt her because I don't give her enough toys. Yeah, these things are so weird. Today at work, I leaned back in a chair too far, causing me to tip over and smash my head into a wall. If that wasn't enough damage, my boss keeps replaying the security footage to everyone I work with. My head hurts not from the fall, but the loud laughter that keeps coming from inside the office. Today I saw a pregnant woman fall off her moped. As I helped her back up, I asked if her baby was okay. I was then blindsided by her brick of a purse while she screeched, "I'm not pregnant!" Today, I awkwardly had to comfort my 32-year-old friend when he broke down crying in the middle of a crowded McDonald's. Apparently, they no longer serve barbecue bacon cheeseburgers. Today, I broke my toe. After telling my friend about it, he promptly stomped on it to, quote, see what my reaction would be. Today, I was in a car accident in my work car. Driving away from the accident, I was hit by another car. Both people said they couldn't see me. My car is 6 colors and mainly bright yellow. Today I was waiting for my boyfriend, who evidently stood me up. I waited so long the security came up and asked me to leave because I was scaring the staff. Today is my 21st birthday. My friends took me to a bar to celebrate, knowing I don't drink. I am now in charge of driving my friends home after they had an awesome night. Today my girlfriend's dad offered me $100 to break up with his daughter. I eagerly replied no, but my girlfriend grabbed the money and said, "Deal." Today I decided to dye my hair to freshen up my appearance. I asked my husband for his opinion, expecting him to recommend a color. He then asked me why going on a diet wasn't my first option. Today I boarded a transatlantic flight by myself and struck up a nice conversation with the passenger across the aisle. Before we even took off, the man in front of me unbuckled, stood to face me, and asked me to please shut the hell up. It's a 9-hour flight, and you're very loud. Today I had to sneeze really bad in a restaurant. To avoid sneezing on everybody's food, I turned my head to the side and sneezed. It just so happened a waitress was there serving a table. My nose went straight into her booty. Today, as I was leaving the office, I heard my very cute coworker behind me say, "Hey, gorgeous, where are you off to?" I turned around with a smile and said, "About to hit up happy hour." He was on the phone with his wife. "I'm calling in sick tomorrow." Today I found out that no one actually likes me as a friend. They only like me to get answers for schoolwork. How did I find out? They were talking about it in front of me. Apparently I'm also invisible to them. Today I removed all my online dating profiles. Apparently, my ex-husband finds stalking me online preferable to spending time with his new girlfriend. Today, I finished my first week of college. I've been waiting for college since my sophomore year of high school. However, instead of spending my first week having the best time of my life, I spent all my spare time alone in my room and crying myself to sleep at night. Today, I was walking down the street and I passed two guys. As I went by, I heard one of the guys whispering, "Geez, that girl looks like Donald Trump." Today, a cute girl sat down next to me on the bus. She looked up at me and then moved to the back. Today, my boyfriend dumped me. I tried to hide my sadness from my mom. She still noticed and tried to cheer me up. She took me to a funeral. Today, before a big client pitch, I went into their office bathroom to quickly slick down my hair. It had two identical automatic faucets, one for water and one for hand soap. Now my hair is full of soap and smells like industrial-strength lavender. Today I was walking home down a small street while listening to my iPod. I really got into the music and started to dance really badly, only to realize there was a car following me trying to get past. Today I found out that my father canceled my all-inclusive boat wedding with less than 6 months to the big day. When I asked him what was going on, he just said he doesn't feel like paying for something that nice on a marriage that probably won't last. Today I was going to my first job interview since I was laid off. About 10 yards from the door, I felt a sharp pain in my side and something in my pocket. Turned out to be a knife in my side, and a mugger robbing me because I looked rich. I haven't had any money in months and missed the interview. Today, my girlfriend told me on Facebook to stop calling or texting her because she lost her phone. Right under her post was, "Sent from Facebook for iPhone." Today, I teach English in Taiwan. I got 2 new students, brothers named Harry and Potter. People, they're children, not pets. Today, I finally mustered up the guts to ask this girl I like to dinner and a movie. She agreed on the terms that she could bring someone, and I said it wouldn't be a problem, figuring it would be a friend. When I met up with her a few hours later, I found out she'd brought her boyfriend. Today, my dad planted and, quote-unquote, discovered a pack of cigarettes in my backpack to distract my mom from his gambling problem. Today, I texted my dad and told him I was getting married in 5 months. His reply, "I gotta work that day." Today, my boss found out my plan of calling in sick on the day the new Call of Duty will be available. I now have an infraction and have to wear a Teach Me Good Manners badge. Today, a cute girl came up to me with her boyfriend and said, "If you end up looking like him, it's over." It's funny, it's true, except when it happens to you. Here are some of the recent everyday life stories coming from fmylife.com, your weekly dose of F My Life. With aerobics music, yeah, I love it. Anyways, today my cousin and I were trying to get onto my grandma's roof. I backed in my truck and put the ladder in the back. As I was climbing up the ladder, my truck starts to roll down the driveway. I accidentally put my truck in neutral and not park. Today I was accused of shoplifting by an old lady in a supermarket. Having proven myself innocent, I tried to storm off to show my displeasure at the situation. In my haste to make a dramatic exit, I tried to go out of the entrance and walked straight into the automatic door. Today I was at Walmart where all the aisles had been moved. An elderly woman asked me where the pet products were, so I told her that I didn't know, but showed her where they could be. An hour later, she came back with security. She told them I'd purposefully gotten her lost. They threw me out. Today, my 5-year-old son and I went out. As I was looking in the window display of a shop, I turned around to witness my son pooping in an open manhole on the street. Today, my girlfriend of 2 years dumped me because I'd changed too much for her to bear, and I was breaking her heart. How did I change? I got braces. Today, I accidentally set off an alarm at the school I work for. No one was there, I didn't have the code or password the company needed, my boss wouldn't answer his phone, 3 policemen interrogated me and asked for ID but realized I left home without my wallet. There was nothing I could do, I cried. Today, I received a restraining order from a girl I have never met.
What?
I know. Today, the weatherman announced that today's forecast will include heavy rain and hail in my city. Normally, this wouldn't be a big deal. However, my house has no roof at the moment. Today, my friend and I were racing on our bicycles when my chain snapped. I went over the handlebars and slid on my back for about 10 feet. Today, my boss was watching taser pranks online when he said he was going to get me. We often take turns playing pranks on each other, and I was the last to prank him. Now I'm terrified to move or turn my back on anything other than a wall at work. Today, I found out the real reason why my brother wasn't at his fiance's Halloween party. He's been in jail for the past 3 months. When was anyone going to tell me? Today, I need to find a way to explain to my 5, 7, and 12-year-old kids their uncle wants to become their aunt. Today I arrived home to find I'd been broken into. The culprit? An obese homeless man, who I found face down, unconscious, and surrounded by muesli bar wrappers in my pantry. He broke in, ate everything in sight, soiled himself, and passed out. The worst part? The cops didn't even believe me. Today I met my boyfriend's whole family. Between them, they had about 10 teeth. Today I came home and found a can of body spray. My parents get me a new scent whenever they go shopping, which is usually at least twice a week. They left a note. Do you get it yet? Today my house was broken into. Apparently I have nothing good enough in my house to steal, so they took my cake. I'll lend them my pizza. Today I'm at work as a security guard at a morgue. Why am I here? Today my boss was skeptical when I told her I had a terrible migraine and needed to go home for the day early. I removed all her doubts by puking over her. Today in the wee hours of the morning, I decided to make a naked dash to the bathroom. Unfortunately, my dad decided to do the same thing at the exact same time. Today a woman slipped on the ice in front of me. Instinctively, I caught her before she fell. Instead of thanking me, she rolled around and asked me if my bleeping mother had taught me to grope women inappropriately. Today I got fired from the job I had had for 11 years for going onto Facebook while on the clock. When I got home, I saw that my boss had updated his status from work to finally fired that witch. Today I was stuck behind an elderly man on a one-way street into my university campus. There was no traffic in front of him, and we were both going under the speed limit, so I honked my horn at him to speed up. He ended up double parking in the last 2 spots. Today I was sat on by an obese woman. After screaming and squirming, she decided to notice me. Not until after she'd let out a fart. Oh my god. Today I overheard my mother telling a friend she got me oven mitts for Christmas. I got her 2 cruise tickets. I hate to cook, which she knows. Today at work, one of my 6-year-old students who has had intense speech therapy since kindergarten told me, "I can tell you're hot because you rolled your sleeves up." I was very pleased with his articulate sentence until he said, "Your arms are hairy." F my life. Merry Christmas, Teal. Today, a friend asked me to come with her to the art building at school so I could pose in the stance of a figure she was drawing for her exam. I obliged and sat for the pose. When the art teacher walked by, she looked at me, then at the sketch, pointed to the legs, and said, "Make them fatter." Today, I fell down a flight of stairs. The guy behind me was kind enough to ask if I was okay. He then called his friends over so they could laugh at me. Today, someone excitedly told me that my zodiac sign changed from Pisces to Aquarius. This is the 6th time somebody has annoyed me with this. People actually still believe in and care about this crap. I mean, really, come on. Unfortunately, I'm guilty because I'm Aquarius now also. Today, I got my car back from the shop. The engine has been rebuilt twice in the past 3 months. My check engine light just came on. Today, while snowplowing, I accidentally ran over my kid's basketball. I told him what had happened, and he responded by spilling his ant farm into my underwear drawer. Today, I had to do 40 squats with a medicine ball. I always made fun of medicine balls my whole life because they looked so easy that even senior citizens did them. I passed out in the middle of the gym. Today, I met my father for the first time. Arriving at his huge house, he quietly took me outside. Just then, his wife pulls up and asks who I am. He introduced me as the new pool guy. Today, I cleaned my entire apartment hoping to find the source of the terrible odor I've been smelling for the past week. It's me. Today, my daughter was expelled from her school for beating another kindergartner with a Dr. Seuss book. My personal favorite. Today, while working at a dollar store, I was clobbered by a woman because apparently I was ripping her off by charging $2 for 2 donuts. She didn't understand that she couldn't buy multiple items at once for $1. Today, after working for a company for 2 years, I got my first raise. My boss told me that because minimum wage went up, that would be my raise. All 12 cents of it. Today I discovered my parents have spent my college fund because 2012 will happen before I graduate. Today, while paintballing with friends, my mask got steamed up. The guy running the course told me I could take it off to clean it. The moment I took it off, one of my friends shot me in the face, giving me a lovely bruise to show my date tonight. Today I braved the winter weather conditions to get to a clinic for a prescription anti-diarrhea medication. When I arrived to find it closed, I turned around to walk to my car where I slipped on the ice. The impact made me simultaneously bruise my elbow and crap on myself. Today, trying to be an old school romantic, I asked my girlfriend, "Where art thou, my love?" via SMS. She replied, "Toilet." Today I treated myself to a cheeseburger. I let it on my coffee table while I grabbed a napkin from the kitchen. While I was gone, my dog ate it, then puked it up all over my carpet, which I then had to clean up. Today I was working at my local grocery store. A lady asked me where the soup was, and I very politely told her it was in aisle 3. She said thank you, and very politely ripped the loudest fart I've ever heard right in front of me. It's what I get for being nice. Today I found out how hard a lemon is to the nether region when being hurled by an angry girlfriend for losing at Wii Sports. Today my extremely superstitious girlfriend called me and said she couldn't make it to the date I had planned tonight. Her reason? Quote, "I sense something horrible is going to happen. I was planning to propose." Today I got pulled over by a cop. Since my window wasn't working, I opened the door, causing him to run towards me with a drawn gun. He then had a go at me with his nightstick. After realizing my window was broken, he laughed and let me off with a warning. Today at work, a homeless woman called me trash, threw her coffee at me, and told me to get a job. I do have a job. It's homeless outreach. Today I received the special present my mother had sent me for my 21st birthday. I opened the box and saw that my mother had picked out, accessorized, and shipped to me in college a doll. Today my fiance and I just moved into our first apartment together. Our neighbor across the hall, my ex-boyfriend, who I've had to file 3 separate restraining orders on. Today I finally discovered the source of the stench that's been plaguing me recently. It turns out my 16-year-old son has been peeing in my cologne whenever I make him mad. Today I finally felt well enough to take an actual shower after having surgery on my back. It took 5 minutes to stand up, 10 minutes to get to the shower, and another 10 minutes to get in. The pilot light went out in less than 5 minutes. Today a coworker who I have a crush on told me that I looked like a celebrity. Curious, I persuaded her to tell me who. She said Jeffrey Dahmer, a convicted serial killer. Today I was in a hurry, so I decided to skip breakfast. When my mom found out, she started yelling at me for being anorexic. 5 minutes into the argument, she passed out. I rushed her to the hospital, where the doctors told me she'd fainted from overexertion brought on by serious malnutrition. Today, while trying to act sober in front of my parents when I got home, I threw up on my mom's shoe. Today I went to see the Cirque du Soleil at the Albert Hall. It was amazing, apparently. Of course I wouldn't know, because I left my glasses at the hotel and was sitting at the very back row. Today my cat died while walking around the kitchen. He had a heart attack when the toaster popped out 2 slices of bread. Today, after suffering from constipation for 3 days, I finally took a dump. Just as things reached the point of no return, my landline and doorbell all rang. Today I met my daughter's boyfriend, who she hopes to marry. I asked what he does, to which he answered, "I'm a flamencologist." Flamencology? The study of flamenco? Huh? Flamenco is actually a style of music dance. Today I just moved into my new house. I witnessed my new neighbor get his dog to pee all over my lawn, pat the dog on the head, gave it a treat, and run off. Today a coworker finally admitted to me that everyone hates me at work. They even voted. When I asked why, he shrugged and said, "Why not?" and left. Today I got chicken pox. I'm 28 and having chicken pox as an adult is excruciatingly painful. When I told my boss I wasn't going to be at work today because of chicken pox, he replied, "That's the worst excuse I've ever heard. Adults don't get chicken pox." He then fired me. Today I came home from a vacation. It had snowed, so I decided to shovel the front walk. While shoveling, I found a dead skunk frozen solid on the sidewalk. I tried to pick it up with my shovel, but it's stuck. It won't move till the ice melts. Today, I was trying to scrape the ice off my car, but wasn't having much luck. Frustrated, I kicked a clump off from the bumper. The clump didn't budge, but the entire front quarter panel fell off. Today I was posted with a very lonely gate guard. From the second I arrived, I had to listen to him drone on, and now I know his entire life story. I was there for 4 hours. Today I cut my finger deep on an envelope at work and started bleeding profusely. When I asked my coworker for a Band-Aid, she told me to get back to work and stop making up excuses to try and hit on her. Today my sister lost a leg. Immediately after hearing the news, my boyfriend started cracking jokes about getting her a job at IHOP. Dun-dun. Today I got home from school, and as usual, I opened up my laptop. A sticky note on my desktop said, "Get outside, you fat, lazy failure." I'd left it for myself. Still didn't work, though. Today I cooked my husband our dinner as usual. When we were finished, he told me that it was one of the best meals I'd ever made. As I was cleaning up, I realized that half of the ingredients were out of date and had gone off. Today I was on the bus heading home from school when I noticed a ridiculously hot girl near me, checking me out. I was about to say something charmingly funny when I suddenly got a whiff of onions. Turns out she had just turned around simply to catch the essence of her own fart. F. My life. And don't light a match. Today, as I go to a small private Christian college, the academic dean came up to me and asked me to put some old records on CD. Since I have a record player that can do that. I had to listen to 8 records of old students from the 1970s singing Bible thumper Christian hippie music. Today my mom told me that she was selling my favorite thing in the world, my trombone. The only thing that I'm good at is the trombone. Today my friend came over with brownies as a treat before work. She works in a bakery, so I thought it was lovely. After starting work, I became stoned. She thought it was a great prank. I was fired. Today I ate at Chipotle. There was a girl sitting alone, so I asked if I could eat lunch with her. She said yes, and as I sat down, I tried to open my bag of chips. When trying to do so, my hand slipped, and I punched myself in the face. She laughed and promptly left. Today I finally told my dad that he owes me over $400, and then I need it, or else I'd get kicked out of my apartment. He only gave me $70 and said to get a better job. Today I took a busy train into the city. I was lucky enough to get a seat. People were forced to stand in the aisle in front of me, and the person directly opposite me, whose butt was level with my head, farted in my face. Twice. Today I attended the wrong funeral. I spent 20 minutes trying to hide and walk away without being too conspicuous. Today I asked a girl I liked to a movie. She said, "I hate babysitting." Today, all the staff at my company were forced to attend an evening Chippendale show. Everyone in my department managed to think of a good reason to escape while I failed and no other choice but to go. I am the only guy. Today, I was looking for a new apartment to rent. I emailed my phone number to a guy that had a great place available so he could tell me when to come check out the place. Turns out he's my crazy stalker who forced me to change my number a year ago so he'd stop calling me. Today I looked in my mouse's cage and noticed a tiny weed growing. I've been trying to grow a garden for years to no avail. Even my mouse is a better gardener than I am. Today I have a cat with separation anxiety. By this, I mean whenever I go in another room and shut the door with her outside, she uses her head as a battering ram to try and break down the door. It's fun trying to sleep, too. Today I finally got the courage to say to my boyfriend that I feel invisible and ignored. To this he said, "You aren't invisible. I mean, look at that nose." Today I swerved out of the way to avoid hitting a squirrel and in the process, hit another squirrel. Today I was woken up by my 5-year-old daughter hitting me with a pillow because she had a dream that I was using her toothbrush on the dog. We don't have a dog. She's now refusing to brush her teeth. Today I ran for president of a club I've worked with all year. My opponent was someone who has never been to a single meeting or event. She won. Today my expensive multi-feature waterproof watch was destroyed. By water. Today I was driving home at night and got into an accident. Someone had left a toilet in the middle of the road. I hit it. The toilet's fine, but my car now has a toilet-shaped dent in the front. Probably was a porta potty. Today I went to work despite having a nasty cold. I didn't call up sick because last week when I called in, my boss said I was being unprofessional and unacceptable. My boss sent me home with a written warning today claiming that coming to work sick was unprofessional and unacceptable. Today I saw my dad's friend across the street working on my neighbor's roof. To continue the airsoft war we'd been having, I shot at him with the sniper gun I bought. I hit him, and he fell off the roof. I ran over to see if he was okay. It wasn't my dad's friend. Today, an idiot coworker of mine was lighting things on fire. When he was finished, he threw it in the garbage can, which was full of paper and paper towels. If it wasn't for my smarter comrades, we'd be outside talking to the fire brigade. Today, I called a wrong number. Calling back the right person, I began a long story about how I just called the wrong number. It was the wrong number lady again. Today, my neighbors got a rooster. Today I got a call from my son's preschool teacher. Apparently my son told his whole class that I was a murderer. All because I killed a bug. Today I went for a walk. Halfway through, a homeless man came out from an alleyway and called me a mudblood. I laughed at the obvious Harry Potter reference. My relaxing morning walk turned into a terrifying morning run when he chased me with a wand. Today I had to dig into my savings to help my parents pay for their divorce. Today I'm babysitting 3 children under the age of 7. They have no discipline, don't listen, scream all the time, won't nap, terrorize my dog, and have peed their pants a collective 5 times today. I am not getting paid for this. Their mother has no plans to come get them anytime soon. Today I was grabbed, had a bag shoved over my head and my wrists bound, all before being dragged away into darkness. Then I woke up with a start to find myself on the floor, in the middle of a history lecture, screaming bloody murder at my classmates. Today my 12-year-old neighbor decided to give a Hannah Montana concert in her backyard, starring herself. Unfortunately, she only knew 3 lines of the song The Best of Both Worlds and screamed them repeatedly at the top of her lungs. Today, just a few minutes after I got to work, my usual laconic boss came into my office and said, "Pack your stuff and get the bleep out." Apparently half my department was being downsized. Thinking it was an April Fool's joke, I burst out laughing and told him how funny the prank was. He wasn't kidding. Today I went to a family planning clinic for a pap smear test. I forgot about the 6 large bruise-like marks on my backside, which are from my weekly iron injections to treat my anemia. Now I'm being hounded by the clinic counselor who thinks I'm in denial over being a victim of domestic violence. Today I was trying to replace the light bulb in my bedroom. Since I couldn't reach it by myself, I grabbed and stood on a chair. After I got 2 broken bones and had stitches in my forehead, I figured that using a chair with wheels probably wasn't the best idea after all. Idiot. Today my girlfriend tearfully complained that I was smothering her to death with my clinginess, and that I should learn to respect her boundaries. This is after she complained I wasn't giving her enough attention. today, I noticed that the injury on my hand from 3 weeks ago no longer hurts. A while later, I accidentally slammed that same hand in a door. Today, I finally found a reason to quit smoking. I threw my cigarette butt out the window, and it blew back in. Went down the back of my pants and burnt my butt in 3 different places, including my butt crack. Today is my birthday. Everyone forgot, except my stalker. He rang the doorbell the second it turned 12. Today I was in the emergency room. The doctor told me that my injuries and back problems are the intensity of those after a car accident. I slipped on a grape. Today I finally learned why the application of lasers, acids, liquid nitrogen, and witchcraft never did any good on the huge warts on my hands. Apparently it's a genetic disease and not a virus. For unknown reasons, I've recently grown the normal viral kind, too, on my tongue. Today I was on my way home on my bike when a lady in a 4-wheel drive cut me off while beeping her horn and called me a stupid beep who should get a proper education. In her car, she was smoking and her 3 children weren't wearing seatbelts. Today I was at a local talent show and during a piano performance I had to go to the bathroom. I sang along in the bathroom, but was unaware how loud I was until I walked out and everyone started applauding me while the pianist was still playing. Today my girlfriend of 3.5 years broke up with me, just after I fixed up her house that took me about 3.5 years. Today I saw a spider crawling across a poster in my bedroom, so I smacked the spot below it to scare the spider into climbing back up the wall. Instead, because the poster was completely flat to the wall, I catapulted the spider straight into my face. Today, the owner of the company I work at arrived at a meeting in his brand new $40 million jet to announce that I have been let go due to financial constraints. Today, I sneezed so hard I fell down the stairs. Today, during a major argument with my girlfriend, I shoved a door open, which then rebounded and hit me in the face. I'm not sure which is more pathetic, that I was savaged by a door, or that I made up a story about kicking a mugger to explain the huge black eye to my coworkers. Today I gave myself a bloody nose while trying to show my brother how to use a yo-yo. And today I confronted my husband about him being unfaithful. He said his reasons were because he's just not attracted to me anymore and my current weight repulses him. I'm 6 months pregnant with his child. Today, the only person who wished me a happy birthday is the policeman who checked my identity card for being, quote, suspiciously gangster-like. Today, I received the results of my mathematics final exam. I got a C. Everyone else got an A because they found a copy of the test and copied off of it. Nice to know that integrity pays off. Today, I thought I heard someone shifting around in my house. I froze in fear and then I heard it again. I thought I was hearing things until I realized that it wasn't an intruder in my home. The shifting noise was my thighs rubbing together when I walked. Today, while being robbed, a man heroically chased down the robber and got my purse back. He then looked at the distance between us, turned the other way, and ran off with it. Today, I found out my sister is getting married and asked if I could help in any way. She says, "No thanks, we're going to have it done by a professional wedding planner." I'm a professional wedding planner. Today, a little girl wandered into the glass cleaning area of the pub I work at. It's a dangerous place for a little kid, so I took her hand and asked where her mom was. The kid starts screaming and the mother appears in the doorway shouting, "Get away from my baby!" Today, my girlfriend and I decided to do something different and go to the park. There we saw a mama duck lead her baby ducks to the pond, only to be attacked and killed by 2 male ducks. Today my favorite song came on and I started playing the air guitar and headbanging to it. I didn't realize just how close I was to the chair next to me and went face first into the metal back. Today my bladder decided to empty itself while I was on a roller coaster. Today I was stuck crouching over the toilet after a night of drinking. My fiancé walked in, gathered my hair, and held it out of the way. When another wave of nausea hit me and I leaned in, he shoved my face into the bowl and ran out laughing and yelling, "That'll teach ya." Today I got pulled by a cop because I forgot to put my registration sticker on. I get nervous around authority and have nervous shakes. I ripped the registration sticker 3 times trying to put it on. The cop then gave me a ticket for improper equipment. Today I had to explain to my girlfriend why being with a girl while being with me is cheating. Really? No, it's not. Oh, never mind. And finally, today I was cruising with a coworker and his friend, and I started getting tired. His friend offered me a caffeine pill. It wasn't caffeine, it was laxatives. F my life.